Hey everybody, it's me Stacy here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com, and it is time for our next Saturday with Stacy YouTube class number 416. What do we have for you in this full-length, commercial-free, technique-based class? Well, I've got the latest collection of Simply Defined, which are dies that are designed by me, Stacy, hi, and the only place you can get them is at Scrapbooking Made Simple, and they are very value priced, really value priced. So we've got Simply Defined for you today. I have got products from Sizzix and Stampendous and Couture Creations, and this is such a technique-based class, truly. But I don't want you to worry if you are a newbie crafter, if you are just starting, if this is the first crafting YouTube you've ever seen, it's okay. We're going to start so simple, and then we're going to add a little bit more, and we're going to add a little bit more, and we're going to add a little bit more as we go along. And finally, when we get to the end, it's going to be like, oh, wow! I promise you'll be able to do this and take maybe some of these techniques I'm going to show you and utilize them in the projects you're working on now. Whether you be a card maker or a scrapbooker or altered art or a junk journal maker, whatever it is you do, hopefully you learn a tip or a trick today that you can utilize right away. Now I have a couple announcements. The warehouse sale is almost complete. We're shipping as fast as we can. We are down 2 people. We have lost 2 people recently. So when we were a small staff before, we're even a smaller staff now. But I have some interviews tomorrow. Everybody keep your fingers crossed. By the time you're watching this, I will have had the interviews. Let's just keep your fingers crossed and we'll see what happens. We were able to hire SMS girl Renee, who actually was a customer who was watching the live chat and heard me say we're looking for help, and she's like, hello, and oh my gosh, we're so grateful to have her. She's just absolutely wonderful. So if I could find 2 more just like that to replace the 2, well gosh, if we could find 6 or 7 more just like that, but we'll take 2. Now, so I want to let you know that there may be, well, I told you earlier, the warehouse sale is shipping out. We're almost to the end. YouTube's may be going out of order for shipping. I think I mentioned this a couple weeks ago. Supply chain is awful. What does supply chain mean? That means getting product from here to there. That's what it is. Logistics from here to there. And it's just horrible, horrible. I had an email showing me a picture. There was a whole article. Actually, I was emailed the article showing the ports here in Los Angeles and how there are 97 freight tanker ships out in the water. 97 of them. Now, I know 97 doesn't sound like a lot, but each of those tankers carries over 1,000 semi-truck containers on them. Over 1,000 semi-truck, the big 40-foot semi-trucks that drive down the street, the 52. Yes, that over 1,000 of them on each individual tanker. It is the largest backlog ever for our ports in the history of them keeping track of how many tankers are sitting out in the water. So some things we thought we'd already have. Some things should have been here. Some things got here sooner than we expected. So you may get sooner orders before you get later orders. We haven't forgot about them. We just have to wait for the product to get here. I have one manufacturer who literally has been bumped off of his transport. And it's the same for air. So it's the same for getting things here via air versus boat. He's been bumped 4 times off of an air delivery, air shipment. He was booked and then got bumped because somebody else paid more, and he booked again and got bumped again because somebody paid more. And so now they're thinking maybe 2 more weeks before we get the product that should have been here over a month ago. But what do? You just smile and you say, well, That's what I have to be you and say, well, it's like Christmas when it gets here. It is completely out of everybody's control. So you can't get mad. You just have to, me too. I just have to have patience and understanding and know that all of our manufacturers are truly moving heaven and earth to get their things to us as quickly as possible. But if shipping product becomes so expensive that they're paying, I mean, thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars to get their things here faster, they won't be able to keep up. They won't be able to sell them to us for the price they're selling them to us for. So we wait. And we make do with what we have. So just know sometimes I'm you. I'm like, when's it going to get here? But it is what it is. And I say the same thing. Well, when it gets here, it'll be like Christmas and we'll start filling those orders. So everybody, all the manufacturers appreciate your understanding. They have actually asked me to express that to you, that they appreciate your understanding, knowing that they are doing what they can to get their things here to Scrapbooking Made Simple as quickly as possible. And then we're doing our best to get them out to you. Down to people though. Oh, we're going to, well, Desiree's in Texas. So Desiree, if you're watching, hello Desiree. We miss you already. All the best to you, Desiree. Really, all the best. We're going to miss you. We're going to miss you a ton. And if you ever need anything, you know you just have to call. We're all here for you. Okay, so let's do winner chicken dinner real quick. These two people posted a comment on our last YouTube 415, which was the stamps and dies and stencils from Couture Creations that had a slight little oops in it, but that oops made them a price that was holy smokes artichokes. I don't know if we have any sets left, but if we don't, you want to go back and watch YouTube number 415. Really you do, because you're not going to get that kind of product for that kind of price unless there's just a little problem. And we solved the problem. So take advantage of the sale. Oh my gosh, amazing deals, which was a huge help to Ozzy Andrew, because I don't know what he would have done with them if we didn't bring them in and show you what you can do with them despite the dented can part of it. So, all right, there's not really a dented can. That's part of the story from last week. Okay, so the two people who won a $25 gift card, easy peasy, first name, Carol. Love that. Thank you, Carol. Carol Rios? Carol, is that you? Carol Rios. Congratulations, Carol. You're a winner chicken dinner. Wahoo kachoo. But you're not alone. Oh, well, if I can't get this name out, Carol very well might be alone. Holy smokes, artichokes. Oh, Cecilia, that's the easy part. Why am I struggling? I am dyslexic. I am not like a little bit like, haha, I'm dyslexic. Like, I'm seriously dyslexic. So this is hard. Sounding out words is almost impossible for me. I learn by memorization. And so, Cecilia, I love you, but you may not love me after I butcher your name. But God loves a trier, so I'm going to try. Cecilia, it's the EUVR that's giving me trouble. Lefevre? I can't. I tried. I gave it a good shot. You're going to tell me I'm nowhere near, but it doesn't really matter, does it, Cecilia? No. Why? Because you're a winner chicken dinner, and regardless of how I say your name, there is already a $25 gift card in your online account. So, Cecilia and Carol, congratulations to the both of you. Go find something fabulous to buy, compliments of Scrapbooking Made Simple, and let's do the winner chicken dinner dance, shall we? Ready? You're a winner, chicken dinner. You're a winner, chicken dinner. Wahoo, kachoo for you. Congratulations to the both of you. Enjoy your winnings. And like I said, buy something that would just make your heart happy. Now, if you want a chance to be a winner chicken dinner here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, what do you have to do? You have to post a comment below. Live chat. If this is the premiere and you're live chatting with me, well, hello, but it doesn't count. It has to be below. And the way you're able to post a comment below is subscribe to our channel. There's a heart somewhere in this vicinity, somewhere over here. I kind of feel like the weather girl, because they can't actually see what they're pointing at, but there's a heart somewhere over here with an SMS. Just run your mouse over the top of it, a subscribe bar will come up, click it, and then you can post your comment. Every week we give 2 prizes away. They're both $25 gift cards to be used any way that makes your heart happy. So hopefully you subscribe to our channel and you are gonna enjoy what we have for you today. I'm gonna start with Simply Botanical, just showing you the dies and the stamps that we have. This is the next release of Simply Botanical, which is a co-brand between Scrapbooking Made Simple and Spellbinders. What's a co-brand? A co-brand is when a manufacturer and somebody else, a retailer, another manufacturer, somebody else, they partner up and they make a fabulous product together. So Scrapbooking Made Simple brought the design of this product, and Spellbinders brought the manufacturing of this product, and we married up. And that's our way of supporting our manufacturers, as opposed to just kind of going around them and having it manufactured, going around them and not using them for help, you know, making product for us, kind of cutting them out, which we try not to do. We need our manufacturers. We need them to keep making fabulous products so I can keep teaching you how to use them. Okay, so I'm going to tilt on down for today. We're going to get started. I'm going to start with the Simply Botanical, which is it's one stamp and 1 die. That's it. It's packaged together. It's value priced at $14.39. It's a one and done, so if you love it, great, and if you don't, that's okay too. But if you love it, you should buy it as soon as you can, because when they are gone, they are gone. All right, I'm going to tilt on down. Bye, everybody. Okay, and let's zoom on in my high-tech manner. Someday maybe we'll get multiple cameras, I don't know. Who knows? Now this is a really big packaging for this, but that's okay. So I've got a die and a stamp set. And this is what they make. So here's the completed set, and then we've added in a few little extra goodies for you and some words. So this was manufactured by Spellbinders and designed by me, Stacy, Scrapbooking Made Simple. So let me put this over there and let me show you some samples. Look at how cute is that. It is a one and done. So once it is gone, it is gone. $14.39. And we do 1 set a month. So the background was made using the stamp. 1 set a month. And then last but not least, so this is part of the set, the little holly die, and then you've got the sentiment down at the bottom. Super cute. So Simply Botanical. You can go take a look at that at scrapbookingmadesimple.com. Then we have Simply Defined, which is my monthly. I feel like this is still too, I don't know, I feel Simply Defined is my monthly collection. There's 6 dies to the set. Here's one of them. The dies are $13.99 unless you buy all 6 in the I Want It All, and then they're $9.99 each. Mind you, this is a full A2 size die. So if you, even at $13.99, that's an incredible value. Truly it is. But if you buy the I Want It All, then you're getting them for $10. That is a holy smokes artichokes. And as you can see, it's an oceanic theme. I tried not to be, I just don't do cutesy so much. I try to do more pretty and a little bit more sophisticated. So here are the 3 samples I'm going to show you to get things started off. That whale is one of my dies, as is the frame and the words. So you can see my whale is not a cutesy whale. My whale is a little more sophisticated and lifelike and real. I hope you like them, but time will tell. Okay, let me put these back where they belong and let me get started. So we have the 6 dies. And just so you see the backs of them, they're all A2 size. They are limited. When they are gone, they are gone. Many of you already know that, sometimes the hard way. I'm so sorry. And I'm going to be using them in several different ways. We're going to do several different techniques, and we're going to start with the easiest technique. So these are die cuts. They're wafer chemically etched die cuts, which means this thing that has absolutely, and you can see I used all my space. So I pay for the metal. I pay for all this metal, whether I use it or not. So this is like throwaway metal, and this is like throwaway metal because there's a cut line there. But we put as many dies as we possibly can in because I'm paying for the metal, and as long as I'm paying for it, I'm gonna put in as much stuff as I can get. Now, these are chemically etched dies that are stuck down really good. They don't have a blade to them, so they're great for using with kids because they can't cut themselves with them, which is really, really nice. They're not gonna cut uber heavy material. That is true. They're not gonna cut leather or things of that nature, but they do cut paper beautifully, and that's what I'm gonna start with. Now, this makes an adorable whale's tail, and I think I'll just cut it just so you can see how die cutting works, and then we'll go one step further and one step further. I'm bringing over my Sizzix Big Shot machine. I've got my base platform that it's going to come with. I've got my solo shim that it's going to come with. It used to come with a platform that had a hinge and 2 shims attached. They still manufacture that and you can buy it, but your machine now comes like this. Then I'm going to be using a precision base plate. And my dies are very intricate. Look at all those little nooks and crannies. And you're like, really, Stacy? And I'm like, oh, yes. To get those little nooks and crannies cut, you need a precision base plate. Do they sell a precision base plate with the machine? Well, we do as a bundle. So you'll get the machine and the precision base plate. And I think it's like getting the precision base plate for free is the bundle price we have it for. But you can buy this separately. It does not typically come with the machine. So now the precision base plate you need to have face up. So you need the metal facing you. And if you have an older version 1 or version 2, they have more of a black looking top to them. They're fine. They work just great. They did the chrome just to get rid of any rusting and it doesn't cut in. And so, but if you've got the older versions, go ahead and use them. Please remember when using a precision base plate, your instructions need to be facing down and that black needs to be either facing you or the chrome needs to be facing up. If you're getting ready to run paper through and die cut and you can read the directions, you need to stop and turn it over. Okay, so I've got a precision base plate and that is going to act as my bottom cut plate. Normally we'd be cutting on something like this. I'm going to put my paper down. I'm going to put my die down. I'm going to trim my paper down just a little bit because I don't need that much. Zoop. And I'm going to put on an old yucky cut plate because the precision base plate is going to add pressure, which means it's going to kind of indent in this. So if you have an old yucky cut plate, that's great. I'm going to twist it a little bit to the side, a little askew, just so it feeds into my machine and a little bit easier. So we're going to send it on through. Roll, 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 roll. And creaks and cracks are normal to be totally expected. Now I'm going to do a slight rotate. That's it, just a little rotate. Send it on back. And we'll see what we got. All right, let's see what we have. Oh, yeah. See, that would have been metal that they just threw away, but oh no, we added things. No, no, no. If I've got space on a die, I'm adding something. All the little bits and pieces, isn't that happiness? That's just a little bit of happiness right there. There's one really long one that has to come out. There it is. So, die cutting is easy. You have to have a machine. There's lots of machines out there on the market. I'm just going to get rid of all of my little bits and pieces. And just like that, out of a basic, simple piece of paper. But we want to take it to the next level. It's like, well, that's very nice, but that's just white paper. You could certainly do this in any color cardstock you want, absolutely. But I'm all about making your own. I use white cardstock or basic colored paper a lot. And then we'll alter the paper to make it more than what it was. It's not very often that I will use a patterned paper. Sometimes, yes, when the pattern is so fabulous, like Paper Favorites makes amazing paper. So we'll use them, but most often I use just solid sheets and we alter it to make something fabulous. So I'm going to put that one right there for right now. And I'm going to bring over another piece of paper and we're going to make something fabulous with this paper. So I'm going to pull out a couple markers from Couture Creations. Now these are alcohol-based markers. So do you have to use alcohol-based markers? No, you don't. You can certainly use your own markers to do what I'm going to do next. These just happen to be very inexpensive for alcohol-based markers. They work great. They're from Ozzy Andrew and Couture Creations. They're very much like a Copic. You've got a beautiful nib on one side. You've got a bullet point on the other. They're $1.99 a pen for alcohol markers. I know, that's crazy. They are not refillable and the numbers don't mean anything. They are not like a Copic numbering system. So please don't think that you have to worry about having 3 friends. You know, a friend needs 2 more, so you have 3 within a certain numbering of each other. I just play with them. They're great markers for just about everything. So I'm going to grab, let's see, I'm using 9421, just so you know. It's powder blue. And I'm just going to lay down color. So I'm just going to lay down color. Just with some powder blue. All right, and then I'm gonna grab, this one is 659, light baby blue. Okay, that works for me. And I'm just gonna put that right on top. I just wanna make sure that I'm going wide enough. And then my next color is 298. Dull blue. Okay. I'm going to lay that down. And I'm just scribbling. I mean, really, I'm just scribbling. There's no, I'm not being precise or lots of rhyme and reason to it. And then my last color is, let's say 2925. Old wooden blue. Wow, I need stronger glasses. Oh yeah, that's really dark. Okay, well, it is what it is. We're going with it. It's only paper. That's all this is paper. White paper. Chances are you got lots of white paper. There. I might take my first one and just come back a little bit over the top of that. All right, done. Let's put them away while I'm thinking about it. Okay, I know, not very exciting, but done. Scribbled, not even good scribble. Now I'm going to take my die. And we're going to die cut. You want to see how easy it is to change white paper into something fabulous without having any talent at all. Because I truly have no, okay, I know you're all gonna, I'm a technique junkie. I like doing techniques. I like playing with techniques and playing with product and finding out how to use it in a way that it wasn't necessarily meant to be used. But I am not good at designing like cards and finished products. I sit there and I struggle to pick paper and embellishments. But holy smokes, give me a technique or give me a product and say, here, figure out how to make this work, or what would you do with this? Oh, I am so in my element. So I like using white paper a lot, or basic papers, the opulent papers for specialty finished papers, because it gives me the opportunity to play and add. So I'm gonna roll it on through. And I'm gonna do a rotate, just so I make sure. So if I kept it this way and I went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and I didn't move the die, it would hit the roller that's in the machine the exact same way. If it didn't cut going this way through the roller, it's probably not going to cut the same place going back. The best way to get your dies to cut is to just do a slight rotate, and that way it hits the roller in a different way, a unique way, and gives you a better opportunity to cut it. There we go. Okay, let's see if we cut all the way through. Oh yeah. And I'm just using 100-pound paper. That's all. Actually, this is 80-pound paper. So an alcohol marker is definitely going to bleed through. No problem. Doesn't matter to me. I'm good. Let's pop that baby out. And before you know it, look at what you've done. Let's get all the little bits and pieces out. Put this up there. All my little bits and pieces. I think we have a cricket in here. I don't know if you guys can hear the cricket. Okay, I'm going to toss all of this. And I'm going to look at how easy was that. Look at that. I did a beautiful ombre by scribbling. I scribbled. You saw me do it. There was no rhyme or reason. I just started with my lightest color and kind of went down and went down. But you're like, oh, Stacy, but what about the sides? You didn't go far enough. And okay, no problem. Grab the same colors. It was this blue. Come back in and just clean up your sides. Zoop. And then my next blue was this blue. And I like using the brush tip and clean up your sides. And then maybe I'll take a little bit of this one and just kind of marry them together. And then my next blue was this one. Well, let's get this one. Let's marry this one down. Then my next blue was this one. And then my last blue was here. And shoop. And we'll take this one and marry it into, kind of go over it and let it soak on in. And maybe the top one more time. Just to kind of let that one bleed on in. All right, there, done. Funny. That meant that was supposed to be, is that finish. Is that finished in French? Okay, there it is. We started with that. And by scribbling, we ended up with that. Big difference, right? Big difference. And it took no time and no effort. Everybody can scribble. So you just have to pick the markers that are going to kind of ombre down. I just grabbed these. They really have no rhyme or reason to each other, but they're blue and they look good. I'm happy. And now I could finish it out. But what if I wanted to like really scribble? Maybe I just really wanted to play with color and let's see. Let's grab this die. How about my anchor die? And let's grab my piece of paper. And I think I'm gonna do maybe this green. What does this green look like? And maybe I'll do some blue and blue and maybe some brown. All right, let's scribble. So I'm gonna take my marker. And I'm just gonna scribble. And I don't care if there's highs and lows. I don't care if it's not evenly colored. In fact, I don't want it to be evenly colored. Let's see if I'm down far enough. Let's grab the die. So this is the anchor die. And you will see in the samples that the girls have cut the chain part and used just the chain part, and they've used a little bit of everything from this die, but I just want to see if I've got enough coverage. You know, close enough. All right, now maybe I use this blue. Maybe I just kind of go in there and scribble. And maybe a little bit of this. I said scribble, I meant it. And then maybe some brown. Let's see what, okay, that's super dark. Let's see this one. All right, and maybe we'll put some blue back over the top. And maybe that green. Was it oh no, it's this one. Okay, what's the worst that can happen, right? It's only paper. We don't like it. We don't like it, we throw it away. I really should stop, but I like the scribbling part. Okay, we're gonna stop because I could just sit there and scribble. Let's put, well, I'm not gonna put these away in case I have to do the border. Line up my die. That's seriously scribbling. Are you teaching a class of some kind? My gosh, if you let your peeps, whether they be seniors or kids or your youth group or your, I don't even know what groups are out there anymore, but my gosh, if you tell them to do this, if you give them that, and then you do this, you will see the shock and awe on their face when it comes out with what they've done. So let's pull this on over. tilt it just a little bit and send it on through. Cracks and creaks are no problem. Rotate a little bit. Which way did I have it? Well, we'll see if it, we'll see. Oh, I guess I can take my, send it on through. And let's see how we did. Oh, looks good. See, all that's the fallout. All of this stuff is what you throw away. Start pulling everything out. And all my chain. And before you know it, your scribbles, they don't look like scribbles anymore. Let's get my chain done. Your scribbles just kind of disappear into the design of the die because you're actually keeping less than you're throwing away. And the lines disappear and it looks like you've painted or blended when all you did was go scribble, scribble, scribble. Oh, I know there's lots in this chain, but I won't do it all. Okay, so all of this now gets tossed. And I can take and finish my borders. So maybe with the lightest color I come around. And if I want to, I can kind of throw some, oh, I want the brush tip side. Just kind of throw some color in there if it makes my heart happy. How about a little bit of that blue? Really, no rhyme, no reason. Or I could make it all one color. Well, what if I did that? What if I took it? So this is what I've got so far. How cool is that? From Scribbles. Doesn't look like you scribbled. You can't tell where the scribble lines were because all of it has been removed and thrown away. All you're left with is the outline. Now, I don't know. Do I like the I don't know. Do I like the frame like that? Or do I want to take it and just color it like a dark brown and cover all that up? I don't know, you tell me. Amazing what you can do with a marker and some white paper. So do we like it with the solid frame? Or do we like it with the modeled frame? I think I'm going to finish the solid frame because then it really makes that stand out. And I'm just using Aussie Andrews alcohol marker. And this is brown number 2321, walnut. How cool is that? By just scribbling. Scribbling. Right? Amazing. It doesn't have to be difficult. Coloring doesn't have to be difficult. Taking a white piece of paper can turn into something fabulous. There we go. Without having to put too much effort into it. It's done. You could mount that onto a card front and put a sentiment with it and you're done. It literally took me how long to scribble? Both of these, no time at all. Okay, there's the easiest. Now we're gonna move on. Where do I want to put those? Now we're gonna move on. Let me put my markers away. And this time we're gonna pull out product from Stampendous. So we're gonna get a little more detailed this time. Little more detailed. So I'm gonna pull out my cute little dolphin. So I've got dancing dolphins. Again, a little more sophisticated. It's not so cutesy. I've got a couple words in here. So make today amazing is what the words you get because I had room to fit them. So we're gonna play with dancing dolphins. And again, we're gonna start with white paper, just white paper. Ooh, that sticky is sticky. Urgh. Okay, so let's put that under there. And I'm gonna play with just white paper. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna die cut this first. I'm not gonna color first at all. I'm just gonna die cut my dancing dolphins right on out. So I'm gonna trim my paper down a little. Will it go this way? Why, yes. Ooh, by the hair of my chinny chin chin, but you know what? That's all I need. And put this over here. All right, so I've got my die on my paper. Bring over my machine. And again, with Sizzix machines, I think we have 2 or 3 different bundles. One of them has the magnetic platform to it. This one has the precision base plate to it. And so we have them online. You're welcome to order them. And we try to do like a value bundle for you so that you get more tools. I didn't want to throw in like free dies because really dies are very personal. You want what you want, but tools, well, tools everybody needs. So I'm at a slight angle. I'm gonna roll it on through. And let's do a quick little rotate. So with Simply Defined dies, you're gonna find that most of my dies will need that precision base plate. I tend to design very intricate type dies. I just like them better. I don't know why. So if you're looking for Simply Defined or my older Simply Refined, then you're definitely gonna need a precision base plate. And you know what? I think I'm gonna cut this out of paper twice so we have a before and an after. Get rid of that big old piece and then all my little fallouts will fall out and cling to me, but that's okay. So I've got my little dolphins going and they're dancing and jumping. And that's what the die looks like cut out. So I'm going to cut it one more time just so we have a reference. We can see what we started with and see what we ended with. I'm going to throw all of that away. Now, could I cut 2 pieces of paper at the same time? Well, I'm using a little heavier cardstock, so chances are it's not going to cut really well. It'll cut the first one well, but you might have trouble getting the second one to cut. So it's really better just to do 1 piece at a time. So let's cut it one more time just so we have a beginning and an after. Because it really is quite a quite a beginning and quite an after. If you can believe it, I'm already into 2022 with designing. I feel like I understand now how clothing designers feel, because you have to be so far ahead, even now more so because supply chain and manufacturing is slowed down. Okay, let's see how we did. Oh, that looks good. So now we have 2 peas in a pod, 2 of the exact same die. Cut out so that you can see what the difference will be. Let's get all the little fallouts out. Yeah, sometimes I get emails back saying, Stacy, you can't fit one more thing on this die. Because I'll try to squeeze little things in there, and I'll get an email back, not one more thing. It's like, okay, we can be done. I'd rather have them email me back saying no more than me not putting enough in. Gosh, wasted space, that would be terrible. Oh, I would hate that. All right, the next thing I'm going to bring over is from Stampendous. And it is an embossing kit that we have never had before. We've never put it on a YouTube before. It is the Frantage embossing enamels. Now, what makes these different? Usually when we do embossing powders here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, I am like preaching detailed embossing powder. You need detailed embossing powder because detailed embossing powder will cling onto the finest lines, but also allow you to do big, heavy, thick lines, whether you're stamping or whatever. Embossing enamels are a 360-degree turnabout from detailed. These powders, they're thick, they're chunky. You know how I tell you with detailed embossing powder, all black, a black detailed or a black embossing powder is a black embossing powder. What makes it different is how finely it is ground. Just like salt or pepper, how finely, is it coarse salt or is it fine table salt? It's the same salt, it just depends upon how coarse or how fine it is ground down. Same with embossing powders. So a black regular embossing powder is the same as a detailed embossing powder, except it is ground much more for a detailed embossing powder. So Stampendous does these blends. They're chunky and they have a solid embossing powder mixed in with gold flecks and flakes and silver flecks and flakes, and they call it the Frantage line for Fran, who owns Stampendous and does all the designing. It is, you will see that the grains of the embossing powder are thick, more like a coffee ground than a very fine table salt grind. Very, very thick. And so if I was to stamp a beautiful floral stamped image that has these beautifully etched lines and throw this on top of it, when this melts, because the embossing powder is chunkier, it melts heavier and it spreads more. So I would lose all of those beautiful fine lines. But for what I'm using it today, it's magnificent. I mean, it's gorgeous. So I'm going to take, I love this color. Ooh, I do. You get 14 jars and you get little two little spoons to scoop them out in. What's nice, I will tell you, is that they also sell these in regular full-size jars for I think $4.99. So you can get all of these colors for, I don't know if it's $29.99 or, but you get a sampling of all of the Frentage beautiful embossing powders. And then if there's one that you go back to and back to and back to, you don't have to buy a whole nother complete kit again just to get that one. No, you can just order the one color that makes your heart happy. Absolutely. Don't you hate that when you get something and the only way you run through one color like that because it's like, I mean, you just love it. And then you go to replace it and the only way to get it is in the kit. Stampendous doesn't do that. They don't make you do that. No, they sell it in the regular size jar. So if you've got one color that is your all-time favorite, you can just replace it. Now I'm going to use this one. I have no idea what color it is. I'm going to say it's aged aqua would be, or aged teal. Ooh, I think maybe it's aged teal is what I'm going to go with. And we're going to emboss. We're going to emboss our paper. And you're like, huh? Yeah, I'm gonna emboss this. So I'm gonna grab my Versamark. And I can use my little one or I can use my big one, whichever one makes your heart happy. I brought the little one out because I wanted to show you. This is what my Versamark pad looks like after years and years and years of much love and much creativity. Much love and much creativity. This is what your pad will look like if it's new. Wait. Not mine. No. So, much loved and used, still works fine, brand new and fabulous. It will eventually start to look like this. Just because your pad looks yucky, don't throw it away. It's still good, honest. Just because it's got embossing powder and ink encrusted in there, all good, no worries. So, I'm gonna take a finger dauber. Take me my finger dauber. How do I only have one finger dauber here? Is that even possible? I guess it is. Okay, well, remind me not to lose this because I'm going to be in trouble if I do. I'm going to take a finger dauber. Put my finger dauber inside my Versamark. What is Versamark? It is an embossing medium. So that means that this ink, which is clear, you don't see it, stays wet long enough for you to be able to put embossing powder on it. The embossing powder is going to kind of stick to it. And I'm just going to go over everywhere I want embossing powder. Where I don't want embossing powder, I'm not going to put any Versamark. In fact, on some of this, I can probably, because it's a big space, as long as I stay away from my dolphins, I just don't want to do my dolphins. So that's where I'm using we'll see. We'll see if I did my dolphins or not. All right. Remind me not to lose that dauber. It's the only one I got. I thought I put out more than that for myself. Oh well. Okay, so I fold up a piece of paper, put this down, take my Frentage. I'm going to give it a little bit of a shake because the more metallic grains are heavier, so they're going to sink to the bottom over time, and your basic embossing powder is going to raise to the top because it's lighter. So I want to kind of give it a little bit of a shake up so that it kind of gets a mix. And then I'm going to dump. So I'm just going to dump. And anywhere I've got the Versamark, the embossing powder is going to adhere. Knowing me, I'll probably end up dumping this whole jar, but that's okay. Okay, so let's put a little more up here and see if I got any up there, and a little more over here. Oh, and I missed that whole section. Oh well, we're gonna come back to it. So now I'm just gonna take this and put this all right back into my little jar. With embossing powder, you use very little. You think you've gone through so much, but by the time you put it right back into your jar, it's like your jar is full again. It takes very little. So I can already see that I missed a space or two. Like right there. I mean, his tail goes down, but I still missed right there. So I'm gonna come back to that. I'm now gonna heat set this. So I'm gonna need a heat tool. And I am using my Sizzix heat tool today. It's a great little tool. It goes faster than the heated tool from Ranger. It doesn't burn your paper. It has 2 speeds. I am very leery of cylinder tools, especially for newbies, because they can put out a lot of heat and burn your paper or burn your embossing powder. So this one is a good little tool, the Sizzix tool. It's well worth the money. It's a tried and true, kind of like their machines. It just takes a licking and keeps on ticking. So I'm gonna heat this. And what's gonna happen is as I'm heating it, my powder is going to melt into a solid. So embossing powder is actually a type of plastic that's been ground. And as you heat it, it's going to melt from powder into a solid. And as I see it melt, I start to move my heat tool. Now with embossing powder, it's kind of like being a good guest at a party. You never want to stay too long. You know those people who hang out at the parties too long, like there's nobody left and the hostess is putting the food away and throwing the husband's throwing the trash out and the people are still hanging on. Well, with embossing powder, you don't want to be at the party too long. You want to put your heat down, and as you see it turn, you want to move your heat tool, and you will see it turning as you move it. I'm not going to do this as I'm embossing because the idea is to get heat onto the powder so it melts. If I start here and I'm doing this, I'm adding heat, then taking it away, then adding it and taking it away and adding it. Every time I move it, I'm taking the heat off what I was doing, and it will take you longer to get it embossed. You also may miss a spot. But I wanted to kind of start to show you. Okay, so this is embossed. Look at that color. Look at what Frantage does. It's got those gold flakes mixed in with that teal. None of this is embossed yet. That's still powder that I could wipe right off. Okay, you ready? Because I haven't heat set it yet, I could wipe it right off. It's not what I want to do. I'm going to go back and fix it, but I want you to see that as long as it's a powder, it can wipe off. Let's go back and keep heating. So I'm going to stay until I see it turn. I'm not going to stay too long at the party. And just like that, look at the color. Now, I missed a space here and I wiped all of this off. I need to go back and I need to fix that. Can you fix it? Well, of course you can. Absolutely. All I have to do, I can take my dauber, put some right on there, go over the embossing powder that's already on there. It's already dry. Anywhere you think you missed. And let's add some more embossing powder down. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna put a little bit right there too. Right there. And we'll add some embossing powder. It's fix. Oh, see, I didn't shake it. Didn't shake it. Let's shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Oh yeah, better. And now anywhere I've put the Versamark again, my embossing powder is going to hold to it. And then I can put this away. Right back, and you can see how it separates. You can see how you've got the teal on one side and the bigger, chunkier crystals over here of the gold. It separates because of the weight. One is heavier than the other. Okay, close that up, and let's heat again. And now where I missed it the first time, I have not missed it this time. A lot of gold on that side though. Ooh, but it's so pretty. Look at how it sparkles, it winks. It's oh gosh, how do I describe this? It's not blingy. Please don't think it's blingy. It's more vintagey, more rustic, more textured. I think that would be a really good way of describing it, because you've got those beautiful flecks of golds and silvers in there, and there might even, yeah, this is a lot of gold in here with the teal, but some of them have silver and some of them I think have copper. They're just beautiful. All the blends are slightly different, but you've got that beautiful vintage. I guess that's where frantage comes from. It's got this gorgeous look to it without it being blingy or over the top. It's not a high gloss finish. It's more of a semi finish to a, definitely not a high gloss finish. So it's not like, woo, when you look at it, but beautiful. Now we still have my dolphins to do. What are we going to do with those? Well, easy peasy. Let me move. Let me take let's put this back where it belongs. Let's try to be, I'm trying. Don't know that it'll work well, but I'm trying. Okay, so now I've got my dolphins. What do I want to do with them? I'm going to take my markers again. And I've just got a light gray. A light gray. And I'm going to go in there. I want to make sure all my little bits and pieces are out. And I'm just going to color my dolphins. Again, I'm not going to sit there and give a lot of thought to this. I'm just going to get the color down. Do you have to use alcohol markers? No, you don't. You can use whatever markers make your heart happy, whatever markers you own. I'll tell you the benefit of the alcohol markers is that when they dry, they're not streaky. Okay, so I'm just going to do them both in a light gray. And not giving too much attention to how I'm getting it on there. All right, that looks good. Okay, so I've got some color on there. Now I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back with a darker gray. Color, how dark is that? Well, that's pretty dark. Ooh, I like that one. That one's got same tone. So now I'm going to come back with a darker gray, and I'm going to run some of my ink right over the top of some of my dolphin, just up over the top of the crest of him, right on his nose and his head. And before I do that, I'm going to throw down just a little bit more of my light gray, just to get that paper a little wet. And then I come in with a little bit of my darker gray, which is pretty dark. And then I'm going to come back over the top with that same light gray that I was doing. Using alcohol markers is all about keeping the ink wet. So now let me do this guy. So I'm going to put some ink, some of that dark ink right on the top, and I'm not paying a bit of attention to whether these are in the same number family or not, because Ozzy Andrew numbered these and they make absolutely no sense. Love you, Andrew, but your numbering system, we don't get. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put some of the light ink back on top just to get that paper wet again. And what that allows the ink to do is kind of seep out. And then come back in with some of my dark, dark. And again, not giving too much care as to where I'm going. I'm just putting some down and then come back in with my light. Ooh, it looks so good. Okay. Oh, so now we gotta finish. We gotta finish the edges. What do we want to do the edges in? Do we want to do them in the dark? I don't have a, do I have a, what color is this? No, that's very green. That's not gonna work at all. What color is this? Oh, that might work. Okay. What do you think? Okay, my dolphins, I love my dolphins. Look at, they've got the dark, and I only used 2 markers. That's it to do my dolphins. 2 markers. And look at the embossing down below. It's dancing. It's so pretty. And then I just found a close green to the teal that I was using here to finish it off. Okay, what did we start with? We started with this. And we ended with this. You can do this. You can. Start it here. End it here. Start it here. End it here. I didn't keep one. I didn't cut two of this one. I should have. But that looks good too. All with just scribbling. This time we threw in a little bit of embossing just on the bottom, just to give that ocean a dancing feel, and then a couple markers to color our dolphins. And can you see how they blend together? That's because I kept the dolphins wet with ink. I kept going back and using the lightest one to add color. And then I took the darkest and put that dark in there, and it had the chance to seep into that light color. And then I put a little bit more of that light color over it, making a nice, seamless little beautiful blend. And I didn't give much thought to the process at all. It's only white paper. So let's put those two there. I think the next one I'm going to do, let's put these back. Elena will be so proud of me. She's the one who comes up and grabs all the samples to take the pictures of them. She's going to come up and say, gosh, Stacy hasn't even YouTubed yet. Okay, so this set here, you have mountains, you have a whale, well, you have all the words. You can make be strong, be bold, be fearless, be brave, be kind, be calm. You've got tons of words in there. But I want to talk to you about the frame, because to get the whale the size that I wanted, I couldn't do a frame all the way around. So, and I wanted the mountains. So we did the frame as a twofer. You have to cut it twice, but then you get an entire frame, because I really wanted that whale. I really wanted that whale to just curl right up on that frame. So let's do the frame. And I'm going to cut it out of white paper. And I'm going to bring my machine on over. And send it on through. And I'm going to do a little rotate at the end just to make sure that when I send it back, it hits the roller in a new way. So I'm going to cut this one twice because I want a total frame. So there's cut number one. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, easy peasy. And then let's cut it again. Can I fit it on the, oh, yay, it fit. Don't you love white paper? You just have to give yourself the permission to try. If you just give yourself the permission to try and you're using white paper, if it's not everything you want it to be, it's okay. It's okay. Sometimes you make mud. We all make mud sometimes, but you don't learn unless you make mud. You've just got to give it a whirl. And after sitting there with white paper and playing for a little bit, you start to gain the confidence of, oh, now I see. Oh, is that the coloring I should use? Oh, I like those together. Okay, so I've cut it twice. Get all my little doohickeys out. All right, good enough. So there's one. And there's So when you put these together, you make the frame by putting them together. That way, I was able to get my big whale. And my big whale, well, you can use all by himself, but my big whale curves just right up on there so beautifully. Oh, love him. And he's not a childish whale. He's a real whale. All right, so what are we going to do to these? I think we're going to emboss these too. I'm going to get all the bits and pieces out, otherwise they're going to be embossed, but I guess that's not the end of the world. This is why you need the precision base plate, because these dies are very intricate. Lots of little pieces, lots of small little fallouts. And fallouts are the little things that literally fall out. That's how they got their name. So since we don't pre-prep anything, you see what I see, it comes out the way it comes out. We do it together. There's no editing or dubbing. Sometimes you got to give me a minute to get some of the little pieces out. But I think we'll be okay. I say that as I keep going. So I'm going to take my Versamark. And I can use my big pad if I want. Because I'm going to make sure I have my frame correct. You don't want to Versamark the wrong side. So I want to make sure I have my frame correct. If I Versamarked this side, I'd be embossing that side, and that's not going to give me what I want. That's going to give me what I want. And now I can just take my Versamark and literally just go right over the top of it. I'll do this one second. Okay. Shoop, shoop, shoop. Shoop. Somebody told me that what is it? He's the little iguana. I don't know. What is he? He's a little lizard. He now says zoop, zoop, zoop. Okay. The Geico lizard. Okay, so now I'm gonna put some embossing powder down. Let's see, what do I want? I can still use this one. What color do we want to use? Let's change it up. Let's do something completely different so you can see a completely different color. Oh. The green looks good. This orangey looks good. The red. Holy smokes, I'm not sure which one I like the best. Well, let's try the red. No, let's try the green. Think long, think wrong, Stacy. Think long, think wrong. Okay. Give it a shake, shake, shake. Oh, wait, it says aged copper. Shabby white, aged black, aged silver, aged gold. I bet this is the aged copper. What say we try aged copper, right? What can it hurt? Oh, but it's very chunky. Well, all we can do is try. So I don't know if my lines are too fine for this to adhere to. Dump, dump, dump. All we can do is try. I bet my lines are too thin. But you know what? It's only white paper, so I'm going to put all of this back. and put my lid on. And let's see what happens. Okay, so you can see where it's embossed and where it's not. What a difference, huh? Where it's embossed and where it's not. Let's keep going. Okay. So, because I've got a lot of white coming through. So I'm going to do it again. You think I should add the gold to it or this green to it this time and see what we get? I'm just going to do a double emboss. You can double emboss. Sure you can. Why not? This time let's try the little bit of the gold on top of it. Or the green and gold, because it's got that finer embossing powder in there. So that should cling to some of the lines. Oh, Stacy, that was a big mistake. What did I do? I put my embossing powder down where I have my Versamark. I bet you I'm not going to be able to get that off. I bet you, yep. Okay, so don't do that. I was in a rush. I was so excited to do it that I literally put my embossing powder on top of where I stamped my Versamark. That's a no-no because you're not going to be able to get that embossing powder off. You always want to put that embossing powder on with a clean piece of paper underneath or a coffee filter, whatever it is that you use. But if you've got Versamark down there, it's going to cling to it. Hey, what do you think? Should we give it a whirl? Oh, I took it off a little bit right there on my edge. Okay. So now I've got copper underneath and green on the top. Because my lines are so fine, the chunkier embossing powder didn't hold to it. As soon as it's cooled down, it's good. Oh my gosh, that's so pretty. That's just beautiful. Okay, let's just do the other one. Don't do what I did. See, my embossing powder, there's nothing I can do. It's done for. Let's make sure that these are lined up so I don't ink the wrong, put my embossing medium on the wrong side, my Versamark. So there's that will be my frame. Well, I can do it on here. Remind me just to toss it. And this time I think I'm just going to do the green and the bronze, since it's got the same bronze in it that the aged bronze has all by itself. See, move it, Stacy. Thank you. Thank you very much for reminding me. coffee filter, whatever makes your heart happy. But something that you can then funnel your embossing powder back into. And I'm a dumper because I know all of this is going to end up right back in my little, oh, and I can see where I missed. Okay. I bet you this one's way more green. And put it away. Okay, I'm good. Let's heat. Oh yeah, this one's gonna be way more green. As soon as it cools down, it's good to go because it's a plastic. As soon as it's cool to the touch, you're good to go. But definitely a difference. Although when you put them together, you don't see it so much. Definitely a difference. But since the base color of the copper was the same, looks pretty good. Oh yeah, you can totally see it's way more coppery down there than it is up there. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, we're just gonna fix that for just a quick moment. Indulge me, please. I'm just gonna throw some of the copper, the aged copper on it, just to add a little bit more coppery look to it. It's not gonna stick as much because the grains are so chunky. And put it right back on in. Zoop, there we go. There, that didn't take but a second. And now let's heat. Let it cool for just a second. And as soon as it's cooled down, you can pick it up to touch. Oh, that's so pretty. And I don't know if you noticed it, but they're little fishies. You really have to look. But the design is little fishies. And we've made our frame. So cute. So easy to do. The girls made beautiful samples using these. And you could cut it and just do a corner. You could cut the edge off and you could make a beautiful corner out of that. Nobody needs to know they're fishies. Unless you knew, you would not know. Tons to be done with this because you've got the two pieces. You can make it smaller if you want to. You just chop it down to what works best for you. You just cut off what you don't need to make the size frame that works best for you. Totally have options. And with that Frantage embossing powder, again, it's textural, it's vintage, it's rustic, it's not in your face blingy, but has a beautiful look. And with that soft green coming through, I mean, you can really see the teal on this one without question. But with that soft green coming through, It just adds a little something. And then the best way to get these down would be with sticky dots. So if I wanted to put these down, I would just get my sheet of sticky dots, which is a sheet of adhesive that has hundreds of thousands of little dots on it. It's meant for intricate dies. It's by me, so you get it from Scrapbooking Made Simple. We sell you 10 sheets for $9.99. I know there's other product out there, but I don't think it's at that price. I don't think it's anywhere near that price. So you put it down, close it up, give a rub, rub, rub. Those dots are going to transfer onto the back. Anywhere you don't see a die, anywhere you see empty space where there's not the die, those sticky dots are going to stay right where they are. So you use this sheet again and again and again and again. I've got Versamark all over, but that's okay. We'll just wipe it on up. All right, and then let's grab a piece of black paper maybe. And open it up and peel off my sticky dots. They are repositionable until it sets, and then it becomes permanent. So let's go there. A little bit too much inside. Pull that out just a little bit. Bam! Done. Done. They're already stuck down. Right? Easy peasy. Now I could take my whale and do my whale and put him on there, but I wanted to show you how that frame works and how you get an entire frame by cutting it twice, and how beautiful it looks with the embossing powder. And again, if you didn't tell somebody that those are little fishies, I don't think they'd know that they were fishies. All right, moving on. The next thing we're gonna play with is from Sizzix. Let me put these away and make sure my lids are on. The next thing we're going to play with is from Sizzix. And it used to be called paper leather. And now they call it, now they're calling it texture, Sizzix Surfaces Texture Rolls. So we brought in, they have more colors, and you're absolutely welcome to go to Sizzix.com and get the rest of the colors. I brought in the rose gold, the gold, and the silver. Ultimately, what this is Craftex. If you know what Craftex is, you know what this is. But it's hard to find it in the gold and the silver and the rose gold. What is Craftex? Well, Sizzix used to call it paper leather, and it is a surface that is machine washable, inkable. You can sew it. You can die cut it. There's not much you can't do to this product. It's a little thick. It gives structure. It doesn't tear. Okay, it doesn't tear. And the fact that you can machine wash it and you can sew it, it's a big deal. It really is. It's a big deal. So I think I might play with, let's see, I might play with, you know what? I'm going to go back to the one we already did. I'm going to play with I think maybe with my anchor. I think I'm going to play with my anchor. And I'm going to cut some of the silver. So it comes 6 inches wide by, I think, 48 inches long. So that means it's 4 feet, 6 by 4 feet. No, that's not it. Yes, 6 by 48 inches. So that's 6 inches by 4 feet. So that means an A2 die fits perfect and you can just go, go, go. I'm going to cut my size. And I'm going to die cut this out. So I'm going to do a before and after. I'm going to show you, I'm going to do 2 of them. But you cannot cut 2 of these at the same time. This is definitely thicker than a single piece of paper. I'll put it down. And the whole idea of this is that you're going to get texture with it. It's not like an opulent paper where the mirror paper stays a perfect mirror all the time. This is going to get kind of crinkly and you're going to get some creases in it and you're going to get some texture through it. And it's beautiful. Let's see. Roll, 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 roll. And out. And let's rotate. And roll, 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 roll. It might even take 3 rolls to get this done because it's thick. It's thicker than a sheet of paper. I think we're pretty good, but just to be on the safe side, I'm going to send it through just one more time this way, just to make sure that that roller hits that die and cuts everything it needs to cut. I would rather roll it a few times than to pop it out too soon and have to try and fit it back in. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh yay. Okay, so now you could save this absolutely if you wanted to cut little flowers out of it or little words if you've got small words. Absolutely. Pay no attention to me throwing it away. Okay, so what you get is a very silver, a very, very silver chain and frame, and it's pretty bright. I mean, it looks like metal. There's no question about it. The beautiful thing about it, though, is again, it doesn't tear, and you can take it. Come on, cut, cut, cut. There we go. You can take it. So are you making book bindings? Are you doing journals? If you're doing journals and you need binding, this is amazing because you can sew it. You can, it doesn't tear. It's not paper. It's this surface that is stronger than paper, allows you to ink it, allows you to wash it, allows you to sew with it, and yet will still hold. And you can distress it and as much as you want until your little heart is happy. So unlike opulent paper where you get a mirrored type of paper, you couldn't do this with opulent paper. That's really paper, and by the time you're done with it, there'll be nothing left. It'll tear, it will not be able to withstand everything you can put this product through. It's amazing. So it starts out super shiny, and you can certainly keep it like that, but then you can also rough it up and distress it. But we need to take it a step further because this is what everybody does with it. Yeah. Let's do something fun with it. Let's take it a step further. Let's Stacyfy the Sizzix surfaces. What are they calling this stuff again? texture roll. It used to be paper leather is what they used to call it. Okay, let me get some of these out. So I've got the one, here's my before. I'm gonna take my texture roll, cut the size that I need. And I'm going to bring over my alcohol markers again. Now for this, you will need some sort of an alcohol marker. This is very much non-porous, so inks don't seep into it very well. They tend to stay on top, which is why an alcohol marker is what you need. It dries super fast, and it's not dye-based that needs to be absorbed into. So you can use Bics, you can use Sharpies, you can use Couture Creations, his Ozzy Andrews alcohol markers, because honestly, they're the same price as a Bic and Sharpie, but my gosh, the nibs you get are so much better. So I want to keep this one. I don't want to lose this one. So we have my afters. My after, we'll put that one right there. I'm going to take, and we're going to go back to scribble, 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 and only on the Sizzix product. Not white paper, the Sizzix product. So let's take, let's try and use some of the same colors we used before. Nope, I want the brush tip. And I'm just going to scribble, scribble, scribble. And I'm dulling down that silver with some of this green. And then let's come in with maybe a little bit of blue maybe. And I can take it and put my finger on it and kind of smear it. Let's get some darker blue in there. Oh yeah, you can totally see that now, right? And I can kind of, you don't have to smear it if you don't want to smear it. It's up to you if you want to smear or not. But I just want to get some, oh, I just want to get some color down. Wow, I just got me good. And how about some brown? And I'm making a hot mess, kind of like I made when I was using the paper. And maybe I bring, oh, I really got myself good. Maybe I bring back some of my blue and add some blue back in there. Maybe even some gray. I mean, you really can just go crazy. Okay, so hot mess central, right? Looks like a hot mess. You got brown going on in there, gray, blue, green. Let's bring my die over and see if I'm close. Well, I think I'm probably close enough. Okay, let's cut. So your gold and your silver and your rose gold texture, that's what they're calling it, texture rolls, don't have to stay gold or rose gold or silver. You use that as the base. So these were primarily cool colors. So I used silver because silver works better with cool colors. If I was going to use more maybe warm colors, I might choose to use the gold. It just depends upon what the undertone color you want to use is. There's really no right and there's really no wrong, you just do. Let's go ahead and rotate and send back. I want to show you that you can take something and with a little bit of scribble, 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 you can make something fabulous. I'm going to send it through one more time on the horizontal as opposed to the vertical, just to make sure that that wheel cuts everything. Should have tweaked it just a little bit, but that's okay. And out we go. Let's take a look and see what we've got. Looks like it's cut through pretty good. So this is a die that has no blades. Ooh, that's so pretty. It's so yum. I love, 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 love. Could you do this with a piece of mirrored cardstock? It depends. Some of your mirrored cardstock, you might find that the mirror will lift, that the color of the mirror is painted on or printed on, and that it will lift that color to the base color of the mirror, which is most often silver. Some paper won't do it. The beautiful thing about this is that it is paper leather. They're going to kill me for keeping saying that. It's texture rolls, but I knew it for paper leather for so many years. It's hard for me to stop. And it doesn't tear. It inks beautifully. What do we think? So we had that one. So this one just on paper. No, this one. This is the one I did. This one just on paper. Scribble, scribble, scribble. This one on their texture rolls. And again, won't tear. You could wash it. You could stitch this on with your sewing machine to something. You could make patches for kids. You could, I mean, there's almost no end to what you can do with that product. It's great, but we had never had it in metallics before. It had always been in tan, white, pink, brown, gray, and black. Okay, those are nice, but oh, it's not as nice as this. Look at how fabulous. And you saw me scribble. You saw me scribble. Okay, I'm going to do one more. Let's do this one. Let's do this one. So this is my ocean with the sunset. And again, this die is $9.99 if you buy all 6 in the I Want It All, or it's $13.99 if you just want this one die. I don't know that anybody has $13.99 full A2 size dies out there with this kind of detail, this kind of intricacy. Makes my heart happy to have them. Okay, I'm going to use the gold this time. And get my sticker off. And I'm going to cut my piece to my size. And this time I'm going to be a little more specific about where I put my color. So I think I'm going to start with this down at the bottom, the straight edge. And I'm going to start with some blue. And I'm just going to make a little tick to the side, somewhere right around here. So I want to keep my colors kind of below that mark. So I'm just going to start with some blue, and it's not a dark on paper. It's a blue, but on the gold, it's kind of soft. I don't even know if you can see the color on there. It's kind of a soft blue. Now I'm just going to get some color down. And then I think I'll get a little darker. And because it's an alcohol on this, it will kind of turn it a little bit. You might have a little, you know, of a white kind of haze to it. It just depends on how much you put down. And then maybe a little bit darker. And then maybe a little bit darker. And I could certainly kind of move it with my finger. And maybe we'll go a little light, just a little bit more. And you're like, oh, but you're putting your light into your dark. I know. All I have to do is take my marker, and when it goes true again, all the color that I've picked up is gone. All right, let's see what happens. So I'm going to give this just a moment to dry. Now you can really see I've colored it. And it's kind of lighter up here and goes darker. I'm going to make sure that my sun rays stay up on the solid gold piece. Try to make sure my sun rays kind of stay up on that solid gold piece. And let's cut. So I told you we would start super easy, and we did, but we're going to finish with a bang. Paper leather is, well, they're going to kill me. The texture rolls are like $9.99, and then we have them on the YouTube Yummy, so they'll be down to $7.99, and we'll have it as an I want it all or open stock, however you like it. I know I'm gonna get an email. Could you please kindly refer to our product by the new name? It's like, yes, but I knew it by the old name for so long. Okay, and then let's rotate just a little bit. That was a full rotate, but that's okay. We'll rotate, send it back. And then you may choose at that point to pick it up and take a look at the back side. And if you can see that it's cut well, you might not send it through again. It's really up to you. This looks like it's cut pretty well, but for giggles, we'll just send it through one more time, just to say we did. And then all your pieces fall out. And look, Ma, look what we made. It really just doesn't get any easier or prettier than that. I did not sit there and spend oodles of time thinking about this. I got my markers, I picked some colors, I made sure that they were alcohol markers, and then I had at it. I'm going to get rid of all of this. And then Look at that. See if it shows on white. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. What do you think? You can do this. And then if I wanted to, I could crinkle and crunch it up and get texture. I could crinkle and crunkle just the bottom and leave the top pristine and just add texture into that bottom. Just crinkle and crunkle. It's not going to tear. That's the beautiful thing about, now if you really rip at it, I mean, yes, of course, but it's not meant to tear. And I could crinkle and crunkle and get texture in there and leave that top piece without any texture and just make it whatever I want it to be. I have options, and the minute I put it down, once I put it down, it's going to be down, but it'll have those creases and that depth perception that you don't get with paper because you can't always take it and make it into something that looks like that. But texture rolls you can, and it's so pretty. Let's grab a piece. Put it down, press. I'm using sticky dots. These are by Simply Defined. They're Scrapbooking Made Simple. You're gonna find them here. Everybody who's been coming into the store, now that our store is open again Monday through Friday, that's the first thing they ask for. Do you have those sticky sheets? It's like, yes, yes we do. A little bit too. And just like that, your intricate die is down. A little wonky there, so I have time to peel it up. I have a little bit of time to peel it up before it goes permanent. Huh, too bad, so sad. It is what it is. I probably pulled at it too much. Done with scribbling. Scribbling. You can scribble and make beautiful things. I mean, again, we started here and was scribbling. Started here and was scribbling. We ended there. And with scribbling, we started with the plain white, but we ended there. But then we took that one and put it on the paper leather and made, ooh, made it here. But before we did that, we took our dolphin and went from here to there with just white paper. Look at that embossing powder. It's beautiful. Look at the alcohol ink markers. They just make things easy. And then we took the frame and did the beautiful embossing with the frame and the frantage. Gosh, what else do I have over here? We just did, and then we ended with the texture rolls. It's got a shine to it, but it's certainly not this. And here's the gold. Oh, I did cut one. Ah, I did. I forgot I did. So we started with this in the silver, and we ended with that. So from plain to spectacular. And you can do all of this. You really can. It's just a matter of how much you want to put into it. Do you just want to scribble on white paper and achieve these? Then scribble on white paper and get this. Do you want to scribble, or do you want to use your white paper and do your embossing and coloring? You want to do a little bit more than just scribbling? Then do this. You really want to bling something up. You want to make it look like metal. Then do this. It's your choice. You may start here, and before you know it, you may end up here. But all of you are capable of this. You really are. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, so maybe I didn't keep my desk as clean as I was hoping for. But look at that gold. I mean, that gold is gold. But on here, once you add that blue, that gold is not nearly as gold as it was. So the silver, the gold, and then the beautiful rose gold. And it is a rose gold. This isn't a copper. I will say, sometimes they're rose gold. I'm like, I'm not so sure about that. But this one I can say it is rose gold. Look at how pretty it is. Okay, so we did so much today. I hope you learned. I hope you got adventurous. I hope you came to the decision that you can try. It's only white paper. You can try. It's only white paper. And that no matter what you do, it's going to look amazing. It really will look amazing. It's yours. It's your art. It's handmade. Finish what you start. If you do something like this and you don't like it, I don't care. Finish whatever you were going to do with it. Finish it. And then decide if you don't like it. Sometimes we get so close to what we're working on and we have this image of our mind of what it's supposed to be. Don't think about what it's supposed to be. Let it be what it is. If I made a card with this and gave this to somebody, there's not a person in the world who wouldn't be absolutely enamored with it. I'm sure of that. And here I've got more green on one and less green on the other and more copper going on. But if I finished this, and even if I just put a beautiful sentiment right in the middle and made something, there's not a person in the world who would not be in love with this. I may be looking at it going, I don't know, but they're going to see the heart and the love and the effort and the time and the caring that you put into making it for them. Okay, so what do we have on sale? Holy smokes, artichokes, I did actually make a really big mess. What do we have on sale? Okay, so let's start here. So the embossing enamel, remember you get 14 different colors. You get 2 little scoopers to get it out. And then if there's a color you love, 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 you can buy the full size. You don't ever have to buy the kit again. But this gives you a really lovely opportunity to play with all the colors. And it really will take you quite some time to go through this. You saw how little I used. It really, very little. So that's on sale. Then we have the texture rolls, paper leather. Texture rolls, paper leather. Craft X in the gold, the silver, and the rose gold. And when I said you could stitch on it, SMS girl Sarah, who's a seamstress, God bless her pea picking heart. I don't know if I can get, if it's just too bright to see, but she has sewn different stitches on all of these for you to see that you can sew right through it and stitch right through it. And again, it doesn't tear. And you can wash it. Look at that. Okay. I think that's enough of an example. So we'll have these open stock or an I Want It All for you. They'll be on sale. Ozzy Andrews markers, they're shipping out. Lots of you have already received yours. We've got 108 colors. We'll put all 108 on. Well, I can't put them on sale. They're $1.99 already. So $1.99 for Ozzy Andrews markers. We'll put Versamark on sale. And then let me grab my dies so you can see Elena's hard work. She did all the storyboards. Let me bring this. Let's bring the sun over. Where did it come on? Over. Okay, great. Let's do her storyboards. So we have the frame and the whale has got the mountains and it has all the words. You can use the whale just by himself, you can use the frame just by itself, or you can use it all together. The one that I didn't use today, and I really should have, is the compass that has the whale built into the bottom of the compass. Love this die too. I do. I just love the whole, I'm really happy with the whole collection. Maybe I shouldn't say that because it's mine, but you know what? I'm going to say that because it's mine. So here's the compass, here's the whale. You've got north, south, east, west built into it. A few little birds because I could put them in there. And then you've got with the whale, the frame. So you're going to double this up to get the frame. You've got some mountains in the background. You've got be brave, kind, bold, strong, calm, and fearless, along with a beautiful realistic whale. So $13.99 each unless you do the I Want It All, and then they are $9.99 each. Then we have the anchor that I was using today and the dolphins that I used today. And here we have the anchor. And you get ahoy and anchors away. They're small, but I had a little bit of room to put them in, so I still put them in. And the dancing dolphins, which is Make Today Amazing. And then the last two that we have for you are my whale's tail, which has the sunset built into it, and you get a few extra cells, and the words that you get is sky above, sand below, peace within. That's the sentiment that is here. Sky above, sand below, peace within. And then my sunset, or my sunrise, depends upon which side of the ocean you're on. Okay. So let's do samples. Let's start with Claire. All right, let's start with Claire. Isn't that so pretty? Right? And look, she just put the sun and the clouds, and she's got a little ombre going on. And then we've got ahoy. So she's paper pieced in the whale. A few of the little seashells. And I love the frame. And you've got north, south, east, west. So this is Claire. And here we have Make Today Amazing. And you've got the dancing dolphins. And then she took the little mountains and she made them into rocks, and she's from the whale with the frame, and here you have her anchor. So this is Claire, and here's Claire's sunrise. Pretty, right? And look at this one. It's so beautiful. It's so soft. It's just, I love it. Be brave. I love my realistic, not so cutesy whale. Be brave. So that is Claire. Now let's do Belinda. And here Belinda has got dancing. Ooh, look at that. I bet that's on, that has to be on, gosh, is that on maybe the opulent mystical paper? Ooh, look at that. That really is dancing dolphins, no doubt. And it says fearless. And then we have Belinda. Oh, this is so pretty. Look at how beautiful is that. So gorgeous. Well done, Belinda. And she just did a ombre on the back. And again, that looks like Sizzix opulent paper out of the, my guess is going to be the Mystical collection. Oh, and then look at this one. Look at how beautiful her whale's tail is. Wow, look at that paper. This is definitely mystical. Look at that paper. Holy smokes, artichokes. And then we've got fearless. Isn't that pretty? She's got the frame. She's got just, look at, he's just going through the center, and you've got fearless. And here we have another. This one, she colored the opulent. This would be the ivory, and then the rose gold, and she used alcohol markers to color the opulent paper. So she die cut it on the ivory glitter, and then she colored the ivory glitter, and then she backed it on ivory glitter. Look at how pretty is that? This is all Belinda. Yes, Belinda, they are definitely amazing. It's all out of paper here. Isn't that beautiful? So an ocean scene, of course. And then we have Belinda. She took the frame from the anchor and did her black cat. There, an ode to Halloween via Belinda. Oh my gosh, she did a beautiful job. Now let's do Miss Elena. So Elena, look at the paper Elena found. Like you're looking through a portal. Look at that, a porthole. Look at that, that's amazing. Great job on paper find, Elena, holy smokes. And here, again, she used paper. She didn't color this. This is a piece of paper that had an ombre to it that she was able to use and cut out to get that look. And of course, she paper pieced this piece. Bless her pea-picking heart. She cut it a couple times, and then she layered back in all the different colors that she wanted. Oh, her with sympathy. Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Wait a minute, wait a minute. There we go, with sympathy. Okay, whew. She paper pieced this one. And she paper pieced this one with cork. So she die cut out of paper to get all the, she found paper that had this blue into this, and once you die cut the paper, all the pattern disappears, and then she came in and she paper pieced it with cork. This is all Belinda. No, this is Elena. Sorry, Elena. And look at her dancing dolphins. And here she just used the frame. Thank you, Elena, you did. So she just used the frame and has a sentiment in the middle. She just used the frame and put a sentiment in the middle. Good job. And here she's used cork again. So she's made, gosh, is this a 6x, no, 8x8 card, Elena? Okay. She must have had an 8x8 piece of cork. because she's cut. So this is not a mat. This frame is cut out. So she cut the die and then put the die back in, so it would be backed with the cork. Well done, Elena. Really well done. And then here is her whale's tail. Pretty, right? Here she's used satin paper. She's all about paper. That girl is one of the best she can select paper like, I mean, truly, with the best of them. She has no problem picking paper. It's amazing. Well, you can see her samples are a testament to that. She just is awesome like that. All right, here we have Doris. And she really made my well look so good. Thank you, Doris. Thank you. I love it. And here she paper pieced as well. And she did a slimline. So for this, she took part of the die from, that's the sun ray coming through. She cut that off of the die, and then she's got the bottom, that's the bottom of that die, and then she cut the dancing dolphins out of, so she used 2 dies to get this done. Not to mention the slimline edges, but she kind of paper pieced and Frankenstein these together. So this is the top to this bottom, and then this came out of the other. I'm positive. Yes, I'm positive. These two go together. It's awkward seeing them separated. Oh, see? Here it is. Make today amazing. Yes, so she took the top and the bottom and then threw the dolphins in the middle. Gosh, she did. Oh, man, does she have a lot? Oh, she does. She's going to kill me. Wait. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, so on this one, she's got that on the... Nobody put any tabs for me, Doris. And on this one, look at there. Super cute. Well done. Make today amazing. And then on this one, oh yeah, really darling. She took the smaller slimline to fit on a 5x7 card. Look at how pretty is that? Just like a postcard. Looks just like a postcard. And then here, we've got there. So she cut everything out. This is the, so here's the frame with the compass attached, and here's the frame without the compass. She snipped out the compass so she could just use the frame. Whew, I feel like I saved myself. I've redeemed myself, right? And here she's alcohol inked. She's alcohol inked. And then the last one, she made a shaker. Sand above, or sky above, sand below, peace within. And here she's taken some of the frame. This is from the dolphins. She just cut a little piece from the dolphins of the ocean. All right, that was Doris. Now we have from Elena. She's got a mixed media altered art piece. And of course, it wouldn't be Elena unless it turned on. Isn't that cute? So she just took a basic wood, inexpensive frame from Michael's. I mean, with the little dowel to hold it up. What are these, like $1, $2 at Michael's? And did the center and then lit it up. And then the last thing I have is also from Elena, the queen of patterned paper. I think that's what we should call her. Look at this. This is a great layout. Easy to do. Perfect. Couldn't ask for any more. Well done, Elena. Well, all the girls, amazing. Aren't they amazing? Really. I mean, they make me look good. Let's be clear. It's not my, I only give them the dies to work with, what they come up with, and I don't see them. They do them on their own time at home. So I just give them the stuff, and they make magic out of it. They make such beautiful things, and they're all different. I mean, Claire doesn't look anything like Belinda, and Belinda doesn't look anything like Doris, and Doris and Elena are totally different. Doris loves to ink, and Elena's all about paper. So just a big, big thumbs up and a big hug to all of the girls. They do beautiful. And then SMS girl Renee is doing an amazing job too. Wait till you see some of her samples. Probably next week. So, it is me, Stacy, Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. Where are you going to find all of the product? Well, Simply Defined is mine. It is my brand, so you'll have to shop with us. That's just kind of the way it is. But you might be able to find the Sizzix product, the texture rolls, at your local retailer. Go shop local if you can. You may be able to find some of the Stampendous embossing powders local. Go get them local. You may even be able to find inexpensive alcohol markers. Absolutely. But if you can't, that's when we invite you to come shop at Scrapbooking Made Simple. We appreciate your support. We're so glad our retail store is open, and it's limited open, but it's open. So, I will see you all next week. I hope you had a good time today. I hope you picked up a tip or a trick or something you just didn't know about, and all of a sudden your mind started to race with all the things you could do, and it made you want to craft. If that happened, I'm a happy girl. All right, you guys. Bye, everybody. Stacy, Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. Bye.